first time you knew you made it?
I haven't yet.
Still making it.
No, that's it. Okay, I'll go slower. Everyone has rhythm, by the way.
Really?
If your heart didn't beat, you wouldn't be here. Your heartbeat is the first rhythm. Come on now.
And her name is Sheila E.
I'm not a musicologist, but I know of no other female drummer. Are you it?
No, not at all.
On the drums, Sheila E. Not bad for a girl.
The truth, is there ways to fake it?
Heck no.
No, you can't fake it.
No, absolutely not.
Sheila E. is one of the first women to become a worldwide superstar as a drummer and percussionist.
Absolutely great. She blew us all away.
You just have to know in your heart that this is what you want to do.
She's known as the Queen of Percussion and has performed with some of the biggest artists of all time, like Prince, Herbie Hancock, and Ringo Starr.
Now that's stardom for you.
Sheila E. is a music icon to people around the world, and she's become known equally for her percussion playing as well as her drumming.
No means opportunity. It doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means figure out another way.
Join us as we dive into the genius of Sheila E.
What made you take up the drums?
My dad is a percussionist, so he would practice around the house every day. Instead of having this table, it was congas, timbales, you know, percussion. And he still plays, and so I had no choice, I think. I think if he was a carpenter, I'd be doing homes. Mother, mother. That song is like, hey, yeah, so it felt good to me.
Yeah.
So I'm playing, and all of a sudden,
Early on, I learned when not to play.
What was that like working with Marvin Gaye?
it was pretty amazing. A quick story, I was in rehearsal, and
All of a sudden we hear, stop, stop.
he just yelled, and everyone's like, you know, they've never heard him yell before. I never heard him yell. I just met him.
And he said, somebody played an extra beat. And my heart,
And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I said, excuse me, Mr. Gaye, I'm so sorry. My brother will never do this again. I apologize.
Sheila grew up in a musical family, and they would always have jam sessions and rehearsals at her house when she was growing up, and this had a big impact on her career as a musician later on in life.
You know, I just started messing around with the percussion because percussion was around the house like furniture.
Her father, Pete Escovedo, is a legendary percussionist who played with Santana, and he was also a band leader of the Latin big band Azteca in the 1970s.
Back in the day, huh?
About the time spent learning from her father, she said that when I was small and learned to play, I would be right across from my father and I would play every beat he'd play. And that's why I ended up being left-handed.
Because I was looking at him like a mirror, I just sat in front of him like this. And so whatever his right hand would play, my left hand would play. So I was like this, with my left hand, just on my legs.
We can see this mirrored playing when Sheila invited her brother and her dad up to play with her during the Romance 1600 live movie. When Pete gets onto the timbales, Sheila and her brother share her pair of congas, playing perfectly in sync with opposite hands.
So you had an affinity for it right away?
I kind of did, yeah. And then at 15, I played this one show with my dad. His percussion player was sick. And I played, and he told me to take a solo. I took a solo, and I closed my eyes, and next thing I know, I opened my eyes, and I was just like, what just happened? You know, it was a place I had never gone before, and I said, this is what I want to do.
Sheila was only 5 when she knew that she wanted to be a percussionist. Way ahead of me. I was 13 when I realized I only want to be a drummer. So you win.
One of the collaborations that really kick-started Sheila's career was when she and her dad met the legendary Billy Cobham in the mid-1970s. Cobham was blown away by the father-daughter percussion duo and offered to produce and play drum set with them on a pair of records called Solo 2 and Happy Together.
And so he saw Sheila and I play, and he said, hey, you guys want to record and be on my record? And of course, Billy Cobham, come on.
If the band is burning, that means the individual has done his or her job.
These recordings really helped Sheila get noticed, earning her respect and compliments from some of her favorite percussionists like Giovanni Hidalgo, Carl Perazzo, and Armando Peraza.
Now let's discuss some of the singers you played with. Ringo Starr. What was that like?
Oh, amazing.
Gloria Estefan.
She's kind of like my sister.
Marvin Gaye.
That was an incredible experience, especially growing up listening to his music.
And arguably one of Sheila's most inspiring conga solos can be found on the title track Solo 2, which is her dad's favorite solo she's ever recorded. As a result of these recordings, Sheila started getting more recording opportunities. Only a few months after Sheila's recording debut, you can hear her playing congas on Alphonso Johnson's Yesterday's Dreams. But what Sheila might be best known for is her unique solo career, where she leads her own band with timbales and sings lead vocals. It was in this transition into her solo career that she and Prince coined the stage name we all know her by,
The electrifying, one and only
Sheila E.
Sheila E. Sheila E. Miss Sheila E.
Playing a full kit or just being a percussionist?
Just being a percussionist.
How dare you?
How dare you?
Good girl.
check out this funky syncopated pattern Sheila plays while singing the chorus in Sister Face.
I am leaving the show.
Sheila, please come back.
Sheila, I am leaving the show.
So, being a drummer that came out from behind the drums, I mean, there's very few guys, girls, anybody that's ever done that. Did you plan that? I mean, how did that happen? Every drummer probably wishes that would happen, right?
Well, it's different because I started playing percussion, so I wasn't a drummer. I'm a percussionist who actually plays drums, a little bit of drums. So I played drums, and next thing I was like, yes, this is what I want to do, is play some rock and roll, some funk.
It's that easy, folks. You can become a superstar, sell millions of records, and get a Grammy Award and all that stuff just because somebody invites you to sit down at the kit. Yeah, so, Kitty. Yeah, Kitty.
Glamorous Life, you hear me?
Her biggest success as a solo artist was with the song The Glamorous Life, which was a huge club hit and launched her into superstardom. Let's take a closer look at the cowbell and timbale parts Sheila plays on this track. Her solo career spans several decades, and she continues to write music to this day. She seamlessly incorporates her percussion background into more modern genres like reggaeton and hip-hop.
I always wanted to get in because I felt like her sound and my voice would be a match made in heaven. G demeanor, microphone fiend, baby was wet. Aquafina, say she never seen it, so I had to scream it. So she presented the music to me, so it was no thing but a chicken wing to get on the point.
Sheila's percussive upbringing is where she learned important lessons on musicality. The tight musical bond between her father, and brothers continues to this day in her project, The E Family.
Let's jam like we used to jam.
We're just going to mess around a little bit because this is how we grew up.
Whenever the E Family performs, we can't have my father, my two brothers, and myself all showing off our tricks at once. We had to learn how to give each other space, how to be not only good musicians, but good musicians who know about musicianship. Talent and musicianship are two very different things.
Go Go ahead and try things that you've never done before as far as playing. Musicians and artists and whatever you want to do, you got to be into it. You really got to know that your heart knows that this is what you want to do. If it feels good and you're getting into it, it's infectious, like you're having a great time. That's important.
Whether it's supporting a soloist, laying the foundation for vocals, or grooving with her incredible Latin chops, Sheila's always laying down the perfect feel for the moment.
Latin music, it's high energy.
When the drummer plays behind singers, it's hard to be elevated, right?
No, not for me.
No?
Not for me, because I like playing behind artists.
Do.
I love being a part of a group. If you just had me to play a shaker for the 45 bars, I would play that shaker like you've never heard before. Oh, absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you about Sheila. She got dropped off where? At the Rick.
Sheila seems to have the perfect combination of groove and showmanship. Many of her solo albums consist of funky R&B inspired tracks with lots of percussion added throughout. And a great example of this is in the first single from her self-titled solo album. Or on the track Fiesta, which quickly moves back and forth between drum machines and Latin-inspired grooves.
You played for Beyonce, huh?
Mm-hmm. Once I saw Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson, I'm like, oh my God.
You put so much energy into your performances every time I see you that you just give it your all.
I do.
Is that fun?
Oh, yeah. She's an incredible entertainer and an artist. She is one that I could say works extremely hard to do what she does. Yeah.
I like this. Sheila E. Break it down now.
In this live performance of Beyonce's track Work It Out from the Austin Powers soundtrack, Sheila lays down a solid funk groove without any over-the-top playing. This concept of only splashing color where it actually supports the song is something she's done throughout her entire career, especially when she started working full-time with Prince.
I met him in Oakland, in the Bay Area, and went backstage to introduce myself, and he turned around, saw me coming, and just said, oh, it's nice to meet you. I know who you are. And I'm like, really? I said, oh, okay. And then he asked me how much I was making. That was the next question. And then we became friends.
The interesting thing is, you know, and without sounding too arrogant, is that I've really had some of the greatest musicians in my
I know
band.
you have.
Yeah.
Sunset Sound, we lived there. We lived at the studio.
I ain't got no business up here. She just wrecked the stage.
The best thank you that I can give you really is to play music. So. The less I talk, the more I can play. Thank you all so much. Can we mess around a little bit?
The track Pop Life is a great example of a simple groove which perfectly complements Prince's vocals.
Pop Life we recorded, and Prince was at another studio, and then he was flying back and forth. So he said, I just need you to mix that song, mix it and get it done. And so I did. We were working with tape and not digital platform. It had not been invented yet. So cutting up the pieces and taping them to the wall and marking them of what part it was. And so there was a wall full of cut parts of the song, and we would tape it back together, and that's how I edited the song.
Wow.
Yeah. You take a razor blade and you just start cutting all the pieces and putting it back together. I mean, you know, that's what we did, and it's different.
To put it in her own words, as a drummer, I'm setting the introduction to either the bridge, the chorus, the verse, or someone's solo. Later in Sheila's collaborations with Prince, she played drums on his Sign of the Times tour, which was the first tour where she was playing drum set for the entire show. The Cross is a track that transformed from a simple tom groove on the album to an extended jam with tons of fills that close the set every night. So if you're a fan of Prince, you know how diverse his catalog of music is, and you've probably noticed a lot of the electronics in some of his albums from the 80s and 90s.
Shut up already. Damn. Tell me who in this house know about the quake? We do. Bullshit. I said really.
And this is something Sheila had to adapt to when she was performing with Prince live. So if you listen to the song Housequake, for example, you can hear that there's lots of electronics on the studio version.
I mean, really?
But the song really comes alive when Sheila's performing it on stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sheila E.
In the early 2000s, Sheila released an album with her band, the E Train, called Rites of Passage, and this one perfectly demonstrates her versatility. She sings, plays drum kit, and also plays percussion alongside one of her brothers. The track Truth features an interesting combination of drum parts, from quiet cross sticks to syncopated funk grooves. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, the next song in the album has a more sparse percussion groove, and it almost feels like a drum loop. The highlight of the album, in my opinion at least, has to be Virtuosity, which features some fast Latin grooves. After a brief percussion jam, Sheila plays around the band shots before an abrupt dynamic change. And later in the track, we can also hear Sheila playing a pretty cool bell pattern in the horn solo section.
Percussion and the master of music. You want some funk? Yeah. Well, here it is, Sheila E.
So as you can see, Sheila was a master when it came to showmanship behind the drums. In her Romance 1600 live concert, she pushes her onstage energy even further in the build of her solo. This time going so far as to almost knock herself off the drum riser by hitting her cymbals so hard. And she still manages to raise the intensity from there. The band comes back in with some powerful shots, and she takes us out with some fast single strokes, almost as a nod to the legendary Billy Cobham. When she would play congas on tour with George Duke, it would take a considerable toll on her hands and body. In her book, she describes it like this: "My hands were bleeding after every show. At night, I'd have to soak the open sores on my palms and fingers in Epsom salts. And the next day, to warm up, I'd have to slap them against the wall until they went numb." welcomed new calluses because they at least provided a little protection. Beyond her animated and energetic playing, Sheila also regularly incorporates crowd-pleasing tricks and theatrics into her performances, like in this clip from 2001. Moments later, she pulls out a classic from early in her career where she tosses her drumstick up in the air, except she misses it on purpose. She wrote in her book that this was a way to build excitement for when she actually catches it. Another perfect example of Sheila's high-energy playing is in her drum solo from 808 Kate.
With the king of pop, Michael Jackson.
That's me playing water bottles in that song.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So
you playing water bottles?
I play water bottles.
I've used biting an apple to sample it to make the snare drum sound crispy.
So if you tune them.
What is your favorite memory?
When I played on Off the Wall record.
One of the most remarkable things about Sheila's playing is her ability to seamlessly blend into any style of music, no matter the artist or the instrument that she's playing.
Really?
One of the most iconic examples of this has to be from a Michael Jackson song you may or may not have known she performed on.
When you hear the song, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, I took 2 water bottles and I poured water in them and I played on the side to make the sound. So if you hear dun 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 dun, that's me playing water bottles.
Oh, cool. Wow.
Another legendary artist Sheila's worked with is Herbie Hancock. The first recording she did with him was for his album Feats Don't Fail Me Now, where she played congas on the track Ready or Not. Sheila describes her concept for playing percussion like this. The greatest difference between playing drums and playing percussion is that percussion is all about enhancement. It's as if you're adding a new dimension to something that is already beautiful. And you have to be selective with how much you add, or else you can ruin the purity of the original. While she only played the one track on this record, her enhancement definitely made a good impression as Herbie brought her back to play percussion on the entire next album called Monster.
Sing it, baby.
Sheila E, George Duke. I mean, hell yeah.
The motion hits the notion, and you stop that roll.
On the drum set, one of the funkiest parts Sheila's recorded is on the track Games that she co-wrote with George Duke. And later, she plays some syncopated offbeat shots.
Cause ain't no other way.
What was the toughest thing to learn about playing drums?
The hardest thing about learning wasn't the music part, it was the business part, you know, and it was the things that the other guys would say to me that were offensive. All had to do with, you're not good, you're not great, you're only here because you know Herbie Hancock or George Duke or because it's your dad or Tito Puente or blah, blah, blah. It was all of that, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you please, Sheila E.
Another style Sheila occasionally finds herself playing is bebop, which we can hear in the Sign of the Times concert film. A little more than half an hour into the show, Prince takes a break and the band kicks into this blazing fast version of Now's the Time by Charlie Parker. With Prince, Sheila contributed a wide variety of drums, percussion, vocals, and electronics. In one of his hit songs, Diamonds and Pearls, Sheila contributed some massive synth drum fills. She even traded vocals with Prince on the song It's Gonna Be a Beautiful Night. In 2001, Sheila was invited to play in Ringo Starr's all-star band.
What's my name? That's better. Ladies and gentlemen, Ringo Starr.
And now, great pleasure to introduce Sheila E.
Sheila had her work cut out for her in replicating his unique style. She recounts her preparation for the gig like this. I was so anxious not to let Ringo down that I prepared for weeks. I still didn't read music very well, so I wrote everything out in my shorthand to know where I needed to be. Playing with a Beatle was like going to Ringo Starr's school. Even the way he played a hi-hat was different. It was just how he walks. No one walks like Ringo, and no one plays like him. I was filled with renewed respect. In 2017, Ringo returned the favor and played drums on one of Sheila's tracks, a cover of the Beatles' Come Together, where she plays Ringo's legendary tom part on the congas, while Ringo lays down the drum kit part.
Nobody works harder than Sheila. And besides that, she's brilliant.
Rock and rollin' guys are sexy, but there are not a lot of rock and roll girls, and you know, they didn't put me in that category for a long time.
Do you think girls are still afraid to take on drums?
Yes, they are. And I get that question a lot.
Because it's a man's field, right? Let's be honest.
They say that it is, but it's not. I was never told that when I was growing up, but the industry and the media has said that. But women come up to me and young girls all the time, and I say it's never too late. Get some drums, play them at home, have a great time.
All right, there you have it, the genius of Sheila E. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into her drumming, and maybe you found some new recordings and records to check out too. And if you're a fan of the Genius Of series, the next episode is on Jimmy the Rev Sullivan from Avenged Sevenfold. So it's gonna be a really good episode, and I hope you check it out once it's released. Also remember, we have tons of Prince song transcriptions available inside of Drumeo, where you can slow down the parts, you can loop sections, and you can just have fun jamming along with the songs that Sheila was performing live with Prince. There's a link right below this video where you can get a 7-day free trial, so I hope you go check it out. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.
Forgive me.
No, look. No, ask a question.